Hello everyone, this is Josh from Chip Theory Games, and I'm here to go over lockpicking with you in Too Many Bones. So for this scenario, I have set up patches at about, let's say he's about 6 to 8 progress into his journey, his adventure. He's soloing right now, and I would say this is, he's got his loot maxed. Max loot you can have is 4. He's got 2 regular loot and 2 Trove loot that he has not unopened. He's not even made a successful attempt on them. The reason I can tell that is because these pipes aren't lined up. If he had made an attempt on this and was successful, he would start lining up these little pipes with the red dots so that he knows that he has 2 locks out of 3 completed. At 3 locks, you'd flip it over and it's unlocked. So at this point, no locks have been opened. And I picked 2 loot here very strategically because they help you unlock Trove loot so that you can see how those might be used. Now, lockpicking can happen during encounters and everything. What we're doing right now is lockpicking specifically on Trove loot, and that happens only during your recovery phase and just once per day. So the way it reads here on the reference guide is that you can make a lockpicking attempt during the recovery phase. Party members may do this on their own turn or on another Gearlock's Trove loot. So in other words, you could help. So if I was adventuring with, let's say, Pickett, and I failed on this one, I could have Pickett come and help me try, and he could pick up where I left off, so he retains the progress that I've made. So that's kind of nice, but that would forego his attempts or use his attempts. So, if he had Trove loot as well, he may not want to do that. At any rate, we're going to try to unlock this top Trove loot. So this is my first attempt, and since it's the first lock of my first attempt, I actually get 2 tries to pass it or to solve it. So I'm going to go ahead and roll these dice. Now, here are the 4 lockpicking dice. We've got 3 action dice, and then we have 1 what we call an intuition die. These are exhausted as you use them, whereas your intuition die is rolled with every single attempt and roll that you make. Now, these dice specifically have results that pertain to one another. So the yellow die, the best results, or have the best results for the trip lock. So you've got the trip 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, or 3, I should say, and then just a 1 and 3 L for lever on that one, and then just a single 2 force for that one. The silver die, of course, the best one for that is the silver force. All right, and then it has various symbols or chances for the trip, and its worst one is the lever. And then the lever die, of course, has the 1, 2, 3 lever, and same type of deal. So you're going to have to kind of keep that in mind, which dice you want to use, because you want to set yourself up for future locks and give yourself the best dice for the best chances of rolling them. I'll show you how that works in a second. So we're first going to tackle this 1 lever. I'm not sure if you can see that from there. Hopefully, let's just see if we can get it in closer here. So we're going to go for the 1 lever. That means we need to roll at least a 1L. All right. Okay, great example. So we rolled a 2T, a 3T, and a 3T. That's actually pretty amazing. That shows you that in one roll you could roll up to, that's the best roll you could roll for a trip. Unfortunately, we don't need 6 trip right now. So what I'm going to do is I rolled this, which is a re-roll, which means I take the intuition die and 1 die from here to re-roll. Well, obviously I want to roll the best chance for lever. Okay, so I've got my lever die right here. I'm going to re-roll that one along with my intuition die. All right, so that didn't do me any good. However, I rolled a convert. So the convert, what that allows me to do is take a die with a different type on it and convert it to whichever one I want. So this is the best die for lever. The others are better than the others, so I want to save those. And I'm going to convert this one to a 1L to solve that very first lock. So in doing so, I have to exhaust this. That's part of the attempt. And now I'm ready to move on to the next lock. So the next lock is a 4 trip. Okay? I'm still in my first attempt. Now that I passed that first lock, if I fail on this roll, my lock picking attempt is done because I'm past my very first lock for this attempt. So I no longer get a second chance at it. So here we go. We need to do this. All right, we're going for 4 trip. I rolled a 1T and a 1T and a +1 save. So what the +1 save, or the save +1 is it means I can bump a symbol by 1, so I could make this 2T, and I could also save it, meaning it protects it. I don't have to exhaust it for my next attempt. So, wow, let's see. What do I have next coming up? I have force. So force is silver, so this is going to be the best die for that. So I think this is a great time for me to use my multi-tool. This multi-tool says, during anyone's lockpick attempt, add 1 to an action die result. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that, so I'm going to tap it down. Well, actually, I can't use that word tap. I'm going to turn it down to the 2. And we're going to go ahead, and we want this one to be the one that we save for the next attempt. So I'm going to bump that to, with this +1, I'm going to bump it to 2T. And then I'm going to go ahead and add 1 to it from my multi-tool. So now it's 3T. And then I'm going to use this one as well to make it 4T to get our 4 trip to solve it. All right, so that's done. And since I used the save on this one does not get exhausted. This one does. That's gone. We're on to our 3rd of 3 locks in this one attempt, which is awesome. So we're technically already here. All right, so we're going to do that. And we needed a 3 force is what we're going for, is a 3 force. All right. Well, that isn't what I need. So I have a couple options here. Normally my attempt would be done. I can't use my multi-tool to bump this because it doesn't help it. The save and +1 only increases this. I would have needed a re-roll or a convert to have any chance of doing something with it. If I had a convert, I could have converted this to a force and then used my tool twice to make it a 3T. I'm sorry, a 3F. But this isn't what I rolled. I rolled a save. So I'm kind of stuck here. So in that case, because I really want this Trove loot opened this round or this day, I'm going to go ahead and use my mech pick. What the mech pick says is, during your lockpick attempt, you may bypass a lock of 4 or less without using action dice. So I'm going to spend this, and by doing so, I'm bypassing this 3 force, and therefore I have successfully unlocked my Trove loot. And looks like I unlocked a micro neural implant. On my turn, you may choose a target after rolling your dice. So this is a permanent loot, which is awesome. I basically get to keep that in my inventory, and it's going to affect all the battles remaining in this adventure. And what it's saying is that I can go ahead and, instead of having to choose my target before I roll, I can go ahead and do that after, which is an awesome benefit to see, like how my results are panning out before I have to commit to my target. So definitely going to use that one. Now the next day goes by, I would be able to make an attempt on this one. But that actually shows you everything that has to do with lockpicking, from the reroll. Keep in mind the reroll, you reroll it every time. So if I had these dice and I chose to reroll this one, and I get another reroll, I can go ahead and keep that result and reroll this one. And I can keep doing that. If I keep rerolling or getting the reroll, I can go ahead and do that with whatever dice I choose. So it's definitely something that's sustainable. Your attempts can be pretty involved. Yeah, I hope that has some, gets you excited about this part of Too Many Bones. And we'll talk to you later. Thanks.